What is up, everybody? BlueDog35 here. I'm going to do an unscientific test with my Traxxas Slash. A lot of people have complained about the stock springs for the Slash. They're actually progressive springs, so let me grab it here. And I'll show you the underside. Here we go. So see how the top coils and the bottom coils are closer together, and then the middle is more spread out. The closer together ones are actually easier to press or easier to compress. So when you get the angle right here, when you squish the spring itself, it actually compresses easy, and then as it gets more and more, up, the travel progresses more and more, the spring gets firm. It gets more firm. So that will result in the rolling action of the like on the body. So what I'm gonna do is I have my phone here, and I have a cheap mount, whatever you want to call it, and then this is my my time-lapse pan thing. So I'm gonna set it on the ground, and I'm gonna have my phone in high-speed camera mode or slow motion, and I'm gonna drive the truck towards the camera, and I'm gonna turn back and forth so you can see the body roll. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap out the springs for these, which are Traxxas T-Max springs. These are from the big monster truck, the gas-powered monster truck that Traxxas makes. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep the spring housing, because I actually bought these for my rock crawler, which is back there on the tires. But I do have leftover springs because it came with 8 sets of springs. So basically all you do is you take the bottom off, and then you can pop the spring right off. So that's what I'm going to do with these shocks, and I'm going to put these springs on this truck and then do the same test and see if the body rolls more. And I'm also going to see if the truck actually handles better. I did this upgrade when I had a Traxxas Slash 4x4 like a bazillion years ago, back when I still lived in New England. And from what I recall, it ran well. It drove pretty good. So I'm going to see if this is still valid. So let's get to the slow motion. I'll probably put them side by side, but that has yet to be determined. So as you can see, the Slash does benefit slightly from the stiffer springs. In my opinion, it does drive a little bit more like a trophy truck, or like a trophy truck should, with these springs. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to run them in the league that I'm going to be racing in, or in the class that I'm going to be racing in, because it's box stock class. So that means stock springs are going to have to go back in. One thing I did notice is that the rear springs are actually, let's move this away from my face so it doesn't blend in. I am like neon white. This one is the rear spring, and this one is the front spring. So they are actually physically different sizes. The rear spring, oh, there we go. The rear spring is taller, and the front spring is shorter, which does make sense. Based on the setup of the suspension, the front shock is kind of tilted back a little bit, and the rear shock is more straight up and down. So I'm going to do some more tuning, and I'm going to figure out what works best on pavement. I did experiment with these spacers here that you can put in between. It's just a preload spacer, and I put 2 thick ones in the rear because the rear shocks were sagging like they normally do with a trophy truck. But the thicker preload spacers jack the rear end up a little bit. I'm not crazy about the way that, like, the stance of the truck. It has a bit more of a boat stance now, but it's better for, like, hitting jumps. I don't know about, like, straight up, like, flying through the air, because I don't have any, like, smooth jumps to hit. So We'll do some more testing and all that stuff, but it does roll a lot less in the corner, like when I'm, you know, doing a slalom or whatever you want to call it. So it does, the body roll is a lot less, and it's like putting sway bars on, almost. I had a sway bar kit for my Slash 4x4, and it was a massive improvement when you're driving on pavement. Now these are dirt vehicles, they are meant for dirt. I don't really have dirt, but I have a lot of grass here that I can drive on, and while it does strain the motor and the battery a little bit more, it's a lot of fun, especially over towards the cold cart because the grass is a little shorter. I'm not exactly sure why. I think it's because the ground's more uneven, so the mowers, cut. Well, I don't really know. I don't know the physics behind mowing decks and approach angles and all that stuff. So I'm not about to try and be, Professor Farnsworth over here. But good news, everyone. I have a Twitch channel. Worst segue ever. I have a Twitch channel. It is just BlueDog35, just like my YouTube. I'm going to be doing a lot more gaming, and I'm going to be doing a lot more, like, RC stuff because I have this Slash now. So I'm going to start working, after I stop recording this, I'm going to be working on the engine behind me, right there. And I'm going to be doing the timing gear, and I'm going to be doing, probably mounting the oil pan. I'm going to use RTV this time instead of the gasket like I did last time. And I'm going to be shooting a video on that, so if you're interested in that kind of stuff, then be sure to check it out. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, send me death threats, check out the links in the description. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next video.